Hello students of Standard 10. Welcome to the digital campus of DUV Moyle Public School. Let's begin with an online session of science. Our today's topic is respiration. The biochemical process wherein the living cells of an organism produces energy by taking in oxygen and liberating carbon dioxide from the oxidation of complex organic materials is called respiration. Respiration is a metabolic process that occurs in all organisms. It is considered as a biochemical process that occurs within the cell of organism. In this process, the energy is produced by the breakdown of glucose, which is further used by cells in various functions. Every living species form a single celled organism to dominate multicellular organism goes through respiration. Respiration are of two types, that is aerobic respiration and anaerobic respiration. Aerobic respiration is a type of cellular respiration that takes place in the presence of oxygen to produce energy. It is a continuous process that takes place within the cell of animals and plants. This process can be explained with the help of chemical equations given below. While anaerobic respiration is a type of cellular respiration that takes place in the absence of oxygen to produce energy. The chemical equation for anaerobic respiration is given below. Let us have a detailed look at the different parts of the respiratory system and their functions. First one is nose. The nose possesses a couple of exterior nostrils which are divided by a framework of cartilage structure termed as the septum. This is the structure that evenly separates the right nostril from the left nostril. Tiny hair follicles that covers the interior hillings of the nostril acts as the body first line of defense against foreign pathogens. Forever, they provide additional humidity for inhaled air. Second one is larynx. Two cartilaginous cords lays the framework for the larynx. They are situated at the point of joining the pharynx and trachea. It is also termed as Adam's apple or the voice box. It is the portion which rises and falls during swallowing of food particles. It generates sound as air passes through the hollow in the middle. Next one is pharynx. The nasal chambers open into a widely hollow space termed as pharynx. It is a common path for both air and food. It functions by preventing the entry of food particles into the windpipe. The epiglottis is elastic cartilage which serves as a switch between the larynx and the esophagus by allowing the passage of air into the airway of the lungs and food into the gastrointestinal tract. Talking, eating, and swallowing results in incessant coughing. The reason behind this reaction is the epiglottis. It is forced to open for the air to exit outward and the food to enter into the windpipe, triggering a cough. Next one is trachea. The trachea or a windpipe rises below the larynx and move down to the neck. The walls of trachea encompasses C-shaped cartilages, rings which gives hardness to the trachea and maintain it by completely expanding the trachea takes further down into the breathstone and splits into the bronchis for each lungs. Next one is bronchi. The trachea splits into two tubes termed as bronchi, which enters each lung individually. The bronchi are divided into secondary, tertiary, and two bronchioles, which is again further divides into small air sacs called the alveoli. The alveoli are minute sacs of air with thin swallow and single-celled manner. It enables the exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide molecules into or away from the bloodstream. The last one and the important one is lungs. Lungs are the chief centers of the respiratory in human and other vertebrates. They are located in the thoracic cavity of the chest near the backbone and on either sides of the heart. They are a pair of large spongy organs mainly involved in the exchange of gases between the blood and the air. Compared to the left lung, the right lung is quite bigger and heavier. The respiratory tract in human is made up of the following parts: external nostril, which is used for the intake of air; nasal chamber, which is lined with hairs and muscles to filter the air and remove dust and dirt. Next one is pharynx. It is a passage behind the nasal chamber and serves as a common passageway for both air and food. Larynx, also known as sound box, as it helps in the generation of sound and thus helps us in communicating. Epiglottis. It is a flat-like structure that covers the glottis and prevents the entry of food into the food pipe. Trachea is a long tube passing through the mid-thoracic cavity. Bronchi. The trachea divides into left and right bronchi. Bronchioles. Each bronchus is further divided into fine chambers or channels known as bronchs. Alveoli. The bronchioles ends up into the balloon-like structure known as the alveoli. Lungs. We have a pair of lungs which are sac-like structure and covered by a double-layered membrane known as the pleura. Respiration is the process of taking in oxygen and giving out carbon dioxide. There are two types of respiration processes in human being. First one is external respiration that involves the inhalation and exhalation of gases. Second one is internal respiration that involves the exchange of gases between blood and body cells. Human respiration takes place through the lungs. It is the largest organ of the human respiratory system. The air inhaled moves down the trachea into the lungs where oxygen is exchanged for carbon dioxide for the body tissue. Carbon dioxide is then exhaled out of the lungs through the mouth. Let's see this process in detail. The air is inhaled with the help of nostril and in the nasal cavity. The air is cleaned by the fine hair follicles present within them. The cavity also had a collective groups of blood vessels that keep the air warm. The air then passes through the pharynx, then to the larynx and into the trachea. The trachea and the bronchi are coated with ciliated epithelial cells and gallbladder cells, which discharge mucus to moisture the air as it passes through the respiratory tract and also trap the fine bits to dust or bacteria that have been escaped from the hairs of the nasal opening. The motile cilia strikes in an ascending motion such as the mucus and other foraging particles are carried back to the buccal cavity where it might be either coughed out or swallowed. Once the air reaches bronchi, it moves into the bronchioles and then into the alveoli. From the alveoli, the formation of respiratory surface occurs in human beings. Now it's time to check your knowledge about today's topic. Here are some questions as your assignment. I hope you understand today's topic. We again meet with new video. Till then, stay at home, be safe, be happy.